I have you both on for an adequate cause motion and a review hearing. So let me just get into this file, and then Ms. Leonie, I see you're also present on this case.
Yes, Your Honor. We only discovered that this case was on for adequate cause, as well as the motion to adjust child support on Monday when this case appeared on the docket. We were not served with anything. So at this time, the state is requesting a set over as to the child support portion to November 1st.
And I think that makes sense. I have some other concerns regarding the adequate cause motion, but based on that request, I would be inclined to give the state additional time to review this matter, to give input to the court. Mr. Lawrence, any input from you on that issue?
Not on the child support, Your Honor.
Okay, well, yeah, well, let's take that one first, and then I'll come back to the review portion of this case. So Ms. Gutierrez, any objection?
No, I don't have any objection to that.
Have you been served the adequate cause motion?
So I was served, but I really didn't understand it because like all of his paperwork says that I'm the petitioner and I'm not the one petitioning.
Yeah, understood. Mr. Gutierrez.
Yeah.
So I think as you're hearing, you have filed a motion for adequate cause to adjust child support. The state has to be involved in that process, and they only recently learned of your request. So they are requesting a set over to November 1st. I am inclined to grant that. Do you have any objection?
May I ask, what do you mean by that?
Meaning you filed a motion to change child support, but first I have to find there's adequate cause to do so. So you did file a motion for an adequate cause decision. Instead of making a decision today, I am going to move that issue to our November 1st docket. So you'll log back in 4 weeks, November 1st at 9 a.m. And then we will discuss that issue.
Okay.
Okay.
So meanwhile, I'm just stuck without pay and just deal with the consequences of barely having enough money to eat and stuff.
I'm sorry. I can't make out what you're saying. Can you repeat yourself? You're kind of in and out of audio.
I'm saying just meanwhile, I'm just stuck with whatever I get as income and just deal with it.
So I'll rephrase it differently than you. What I will tell you is that there is a final order of child support just from 2022. So you, up until I make a further decision, are bound by that 2022 order for child support. Yes.
Okay.
If you want to phrase that differently, feel free, but that's the court's ruling.
No.
Okay. Okay. So then let's move on to the review portion of this. And I'm just gonna pull up my notes. So Mr. Lawrence, I guess I'll turn it over to you. I think if my notes are correct, the review portion of this case really involves Mr. Gutierrez and his evaluations that we're wanting to get done and see.
That's correct, Your Honor. I had a chance to speak with a representative of the Kaiser Outpatient Substance Abuse Program. And what she indicated to me was that Mr. Gutierrez was declining or not admitting that he needed any treatment. And I explained to her the court process and that we had requested input for myself and Ms. Gutierrez as well. And they indicated to me that as long as he is declining treatment, that, regardless of our input, that they are not going to put him through treatment. And so my understanding is that Mr. Gutierrez is no longer living with his sister, which he was at the time of my last report. He apparently lived with a girlfriend for a period of time, but is now basically floating and living with friends or in his car or whatever. And that was indicated to me by an email from Mr. Gutierrez here about a week ago. And so we have a situation where essentially he's homeless and is refusing treatment. And his alcohol issues are kind of the heart of the issues in this case. And he has had no visits with his children as an incentive for him to get into treatment, and now apparently he's refusing it. So my only recommendation at this point is that the status quo be maintained until he does get into treatment and starts trying to improve his life.
So thank you, Mr. Lawrence. I appreciate that. Mr. Gutierrez, I want your input, and I'm, looking back through the order, the history of this case and the order that a prior judicial officer entered, suspending visitation, pending drug and alcohol evaluations and treatment. So, I'm not inclined to make any changes to the suspension of visitation, but I would like to hear from you and get your input on this issue.
I have not declined any sort of treatment. I conversated with the counselor.
Hold on real quick. We're having the same problem. I am not able to pick up your audio well enough to understand what you are saying. Can you try to?
Give me 1 second, then.
That's better. Whatever you just did is way better.
Oh, okay. I have not declined any sort of treatment or anything at all like that.
Sorry, you just kind of cut out again.
Oh my God.
Can you stay close to the microphone on whatever device you're using?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have not declined any sort of treatment or anything like that. I spoke to the counselor. I did what I was supposed to do. I'm just waiting around to hopefully get my visitation time with my kids. I mean, I missed the whole summer because of this.
Right. So are you engaged in treatment with Kaiser?
Not at the moment. I mean, I like I said, I've talked to the counselors, and they asked me to do drug tests and stuff like that, and I done them all. If Mr. Lawrence or Elisa haven't received those results, I don't know what to tell you, because I have reached out to the counselor to email those to them as an evidence, and I'm just out of my hands, I guess.
Well, so here's what I would say. It's not out of your hands, because this is your life, nobody else's. So it is, if the counselors are not sending reports to Mr. Lawrence, then I recommend you go get those reports from the providers and you get those to Mr. Lawrence. Because what I am telling you is I'm not going to make any changes to visitation until I see that you are in compliance with your evaluations and treatment. Okay.
Well, I guess I just have to talk. I wasn't told to go on any kind of treatment or nothing like that. So I'm not denying to go into treatment at all. I'm just saying I did the evaluation like I supposed to. I mean, yes, it took a little longer than I expected. But I don't know what to do from now. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. What I'm telling you specifically to do is we're going to, since we're already coming back November 1st, I'll set another review date for this issue to November 1st. And so that gives you 4 weeks for you to proactively reach out to Kaiser about getting paperwork to Mr. Lawrence and or getting engaged in treatment and or getting drug test results to Mr. Lawrence? Because right now,
mean-
he's being told is that you're not engaged in any sort of treatment with them.
I mean, I don't feel like I need to. I mean, honestly, what
That's,
do I?
yeah, so Mr. Gutierrez, if that's your position, then we'll address that November 1. Just know that if Kaiser is stating that you're refusing treatment, I will take that into account when I make a decision about your visitation rights with the kids.
Okay, so what do I need to do? Do I need to go take drug tests and have those emailed to Mr. Lawrence? Is that what I?
What you need to do is reach out to Kaiser. You need to follow whatever treatment plan they have for you or whatever request they have for you, and then get that compliance notation to Mr. Lawrence, either through your counselor or by you taking the paperwork yourself from Kaiser and getting it to Mr. Lawrence. Okay? Okay. Elisa, any input from you?
Not really. I mean, I didn't know where all the new paperwork came from because we still had this current case open. So that's why I am just here to figure out why he's trying to re-petition the parenting plan. And
we will, I have looked through that motion. We'll address it on November 1st after the state looks at it.
okay.
But yeah, we'll just essentially reset both of these issues to November 1st and see.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, Mr. Lawrence, anything else on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, Ms. Gutierrez, you're free to log off.